Boysies. We're back, boys. It's leg day today. I'm not going to sit here for too long and talk shit. I'll start talking shit a little bit later. Long story short, I'm going to run you through a full day of eating. I thought about it. I was like, fuck, no one wants to see me eat again. Like, my food changed, so I was going to film it again. And then I thought, I literally watch people eat the same shit on repeat every day while I'm eating my meals. So there's got to be at least someone out there who enjoys watching me eat mine. So pre-workout meal 1 today. So leg day today, a little bit different. I eat pre-workout as meal 1 and head straight to the gym. I just like getting it out of the way with less food in my stomach because I do not want to feel sick and throw up. But this is the exact same meal as you would have seen every other time. Cream of rice, 140 grams. Whey protein, 50 grams. 50 grams, 55 grams. 90 grams cherries. 50 grams strawberries. And 7 grams of cacao nibs. All in this goodie. And then there's also the coffee on hand today. We have a iced almond latte. That is like the most consistent thing in my meal plan. Prep, off season, doesn't change. The almond latte stays in, which is just 25 calories worth of unsweetened almond milk. And gang, we are back, boys. Pre-workout meal is in. Coffee is in. That was followed immediately by a bowel movement, as per usual, every single day. We're on the way to the gym, boys. We got leg day. Just got a tan in, and it's time to get after legs. I've been thinking about this session for days. I got a fucking vendetta with the pendulum squat today. It's been a couple of weeks. I've been stuck at the same reps. If I don't go up today, I'm gonna fucking vomit. We will go up today. Anyway, today I'm gonna be running you through how to set up and execute your off-season growth phase, gaining as much muscle as possible, as efficiently as possible, and giving you the rundown on how exactly to do that. And we're gonna start from basically chronological order of what is most important. I'm not gonna stay in chronological order, but the first thing I wanna talk about is literally the first thing that will set you up for the most optimal phase. And that is not being fat. So high chance if you're entering a growth phase or an off season is you're coming out of the back end of a cut or a fat loss phase. How you manage yourself, your hunger, and your initial weight gain post that fat loss phase will ultimately determine, one, how long your off season can be, but also how successful it can be. If you finish a prep, a fat loss phase, whatever it might be, how you handle that post-diet phase will ultimately set up or ruin the off season. If you go ahead and eat everything under the sun, binge your fucking mind out of existence, get fat, gain a whole bunch of body weight, ruin your insulin sensitivity that you just worked so hard to achieve, your timeline or your runway for progression is now shortened because let's say you finish the fat loss phase, you fuck it, you gain 10 kilograms. Where are you gonna go from here? Ideally, if you're doing like a 20, 24, 25 week growth phase, you want like a 0.3 to 0.5% body weight per week increase as a rate of gain. If you are 10 kilograms up a week post-diet, 2 weeks post-diet, that's already, depending on how much your body weight is, you've already just halved your off-season. Not only in terms of the timeline itself, but the appetite issues that you will run into, the insulin sensitivity that you've most likely already got to some extent, and then you're fucked. Where are you gonna go? You got nowhere to go. So most importantly with an off-season is controlling that window post-diet. Whether you're an enhanced bodybuilder and you've got a phase where if it was a prep, you've probably been a little bit more aggressive with drugs and you have to come off for a certain extent, controlling that phase there will dictate the success of your off season. That is probably the most crucial part, is not getting fat in that first little window until you can either start to push the PEDs again and grow. Obviously, we want to be in a surplus when we are at levels of androgens that are going to create an environment where muscle accrual can be slightly higher than it would be without. Now, if you're a natty, this is a little bit different. As a natty post-diet, depending on how lean you got, there is a amount of weight gain that is necessary to get you back to a position hormonally and also with just how you feel functioning as a human being. There is a level of fat gain that needs to take place. You are not manually inputting your hormones, so you don't have the same luxury that as we do as an enhanced bodybuilder, where you can relatively run baseline pretty lean. You're manually inputting hormone, and the baseline levels of like human function can still be achieved. If you're a natty, unfortunately that's not the case. You will have to push that body weight a little bit higher earlier, but that still doesn't mean getting fat. 0.5% of body weight within the first week for the first 2, 3, 4 weeks. Basically, you want to be in a position where you're gaining the least amount of body weight, the least amount of body fat to feel normal, function normal, recover normal, sleep normal, libido back in a good place. Just the least amount of body fat to be functioning as a human being and not feeling like a fucking pile of snot, basically. I'm yapping. I told myself I wasn't even going to walk to the gym because it's like that. I was going to get a bike. I'm already halfway there because I've been yapping for fucking 6 minutes. But most important starting point for the off season is not being fat. You take one tip from this: don't get fat. We've made it to the gym, leg day. I'm not going to be too talkative throughout the leg day. I might just do like a voiceover, but intra-workout, obviously full day of eating. I need to talk about this. So I start off with, I drank like a litre on the way here. I don't know if you can see, but you can't see, but I'm sweaty as fuck. And then we've got, where are we? 22 carbs, coconut water, 15 carbs, coconut water, and 20 carbs, coconut water. So we have just above 55 grams of carbs. It's meant to be 55. The reason they're all different is like, this one's like toasted coconut. This one is young coconut, I believe, like a more sweet coconut, and then this one's just regular coconut. But they combine very well for a delicious flavour. Basically, my intra-workout would look like just a combination of coconut water, usually pomegranate juice, but I was out of that today, and then some form of like sugary drink, so that I get a nice mix of fructose, glucose, all different sorts of stuff. Today, just coconut water, and yeah, I'm getting to legs, show you how it is done, and hopefully hit some PRs. Now, onto some more off-season, or how you can prioritize and maximize your off-season and the progress within that. Having a timeline, mapping things out, having a rate of gain set in stone. You should ideally have, 1, the rate of gain, and then 2, the end goal in terms of body weight already set up prior to starting. You cannot out-eat your ability to grow. There is a limiting factor in how quickly you can put on muscle mass. You can't just eat infinite food and continue to grow. It doesn't work like that. There is a limiting factor. So you need to eat enough to drive up your rate of gain in a fashion in which you've already planned out. And more importantly, you need to eat to fuel performance and recovery. You can only grow as much as you can recover. Ideal rate of gain lies between 0.25 to 0.5% of body weight per week. If you're natural, slightly on the lower end. If you're on PD, slightly on the higher end. Your food and food increases should be dictated around this, both progress in the gym, performance, and rate of gain. Now, if you're someone, and I've spoken about this before, but if you're someone who enjoys off-plan eating, you really have to get that within control if you want to maximize this phase. We do not want to be having huge bolus off-plan meals that keeps, 1, the baseline food lower, so therefore the performance throughout the week, the ability to recover, it's all affected. It's not good to have lower food throughout the week just because you go ahead and overeat basically on the weekends. And excess fat gain can absolutely happen from one meal. The best piece of advice I can give you in regards to this, without delving too deep into it and talking about it for hours, simply work in your off-plan meals into your macronutrition. If you're someone who enjoys having things off-plan once per week, being slightly more accurate with this is going to be pretty important. If you're someone who infrequently eats off plan, you know, maybe once every second week, third week, once a month, you can afford to be a little bit less accurate. Now, you should still have in mind what you are eating and eat reasonably. And it doesn't mean that, you know, being less accurate because you eat off plan less doesn't mean that you can still go out and just fucking gorge yourself. Because as I said, you can and will gain fat from this. If your weight spikes up after an off plan meal, right, and you're in a surplus in the off season, that's not coming back down. That is fat going on your body. Now, not only does that fuck up the whole rate of gain situation, you also have repercussions of that the following days. As someone who, you know, I take my blood glucose 5 days a week, let's say. If I have an off-plan meal, which nowadays, not so much, but last off-season, which wasn't taken quite as, for lack of a better term, quite as seriously. And this is why I can speak on this, because I've done both. I've done a completely dirty bulk. I've done somewhere in the middle, and now I'm just completely controlled, living like a bodybuilder. And when I had off-plan meals in my last sort of reasonably controlled off-season, not quite to the level I'm at now, the next day, blood glucose in the bin, insulin sensitivity in the bin, appetite in the bin, didn't want to eat, worse pumps, and it just made the look get sloppy really quick. And this is something I don't think enough people are aware of. In the off-season, the rate of gain is like very important. And therefore, your off-plan eating, which a lot of people, you know, see the off-season as just like a free-for-all, like, hey, I can eat whatever I want because I'm growing. Not the case. If you want it to be as optimal as possible, make not only the off-season more efficient, more progressive, but also your next fat loss phase, prep, diet, whatever it may be, easier. You'll be dieting on more food. You'll have to diet for less time because you won't be as fat. And your body's just going to be in a far better position to lose fat if you don't take the piss in your off-season. Your digestion and basically your insulin sensitivity, your partitioning of nutrients, is of utmost importance in this phase. You need to do everything to protect both of those. If you cannot digest your food, I can guarantee you your body is not utilizing it as efficiently as it needs to be, and you are not growing as quickly as you could be. Anyway, touching on my off season, I'm currently 3.5 weeks in right now. Definitely not fat yet, but I am starting to get some of those off-season fucking things pop up. Like I literally had to use baby powder today on my inner thighs because I'm starting to chafe, and it was actually like becoming like a burn in between my legs, and it was painful. So baby powder protocol is in, but overall mine's going fucking great so far. And my plan is, obviously, I'm going to tell you guys everything I'm doing, and I'm going to, you know, try my best to educate how to do exactly as I'm doing. But ultimately, I'm going to show you. I will show you exactly what an efficient off season can be, what it can do, not only through this, but also next time you see me step on stage, there will be large progressions. I assure you of that. Reasonably successful leg day, boys, I would say. I don't know if you can see it, like the fucking sinewy shit where I don't even know, it's like, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's fucking disgusting. It looks like scars. Not too fat yet. Obviously, I've just trained legs, so it's like the lines are a little bit how you're going, and I'm cramping now. That's not ideal. But anyway, it's time for post-workout meal. Chicken is about to go in the air fryer. This meal is the exact same as every other time you've seen it. It is somtam papaya salad, or Thai papaya salad, whatever you want to call it, with rice vermicelli noodles. Oh, that's fucking pretty snazzy. Is this on? Yeah, it is. Rice vermicelli noodles, pineapple, chicken, papaya salad. Finished product, boys. We are going to go ahead and send it over to the couch. Now, usually I would be waiting, you know, an hour and a half, hour post-workout, showering, getting all good to go in terms of like lowering the stress, lowering the heart rate, getting in the rest and digest mode. But it was raining like absolute monsoon when I left the gym, so didn't really have to worry about that because it is already 1 hour and 44 minutes post the last set that I did. So, been quite some time now. But we have glorious rice noodles, 130 grams, 200 grams chicken, or 190 grams chicken, sometimes salad, 100 grams pineapple. Absolutely fucking glorious, boys. Let me smash this and then we'll talk, all right? Meal number 3, boys, going in. Nothing fancy, same as always. Sweet potato, egg, pineapple, chicken, bit of tomato, some seasonings up in that bitch. You know how I roll, boys. Consistency. I eat the same shit day in, day out. Just slightly more this week, hence why I'm doing this full day of eating. So this sweet potato is now 270 grams. The chicken is 230 grams, raw weight, that is. The egg is 1 whole egg. And the pineapple is 100 grams of pineapple. And the tomato is 50 grams of tomato. You will start to see a very common trend with what I do, and that is consistency. I do the same thing on repeat daily. I eat the same thing on repeat daily. I train the same exercises on repeat daily with slightly more reps or slightly more weight each time, or trying to. And that is another huge tip for off-season is it's boring, guys. If you want to make the best progress you can make, it's not fun, it's not fancy, there's no exciting new things every day to be doing. It's the same stock standard shit. It's literally prep with more food and more energy. That is it. But I'm not going to yap. I'm already a little bit behind on this meal. I had to do some work. So I had a couple of consult calls and I am behind yet again. So slam this meal. Then I'll likely see for meal number 5. I have some steps to do today because it was raining on the way home from the gym. So I had to get a car. So I need to get some steps in at some point, but I also need to work. So I got my hands full for the rest of the day, boys. But meal by meal, we will go through. Meal 3, deleted glorious Japanese sweet potato, boys. Purple, yellow, doesn't matter. Get it in. Absolutely glorious carbohydrate source. And unlike rice is great, don't get me wrong, but it provides some micronutrients. It provides fiber, which is another big thing when it comes to not even just off-season, everything. Fiber intake, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. 35 grams year-round. Don't change it. Keep it at 35 grams. Sorted. You'll be golden. Digestion will be a million times better. That's all I'm going to say on that. That can be I'll do a video on nutrition another day. Logbook precision and training progression. Progression provides growth. Food just supports it. Better yet, adaptation is what forces growth. Progress is what forces adaptation. Your training data is a direct, instant truth feedback. If it is not improving in some way, shape, or form, whether that be gradual progression in load, reps, execution, whatever it may be, high chance you're not growing. There should be some form of adaptation taking place or progression taking place. If that's not the case, it doesn't matter how clean your diet is, how adherent you are to the plan, you're simply not growing. Like there's no two ways about it. Now, there are a few genetic outliers, right, in the bodybuilding space. I'm sorry to tell you, you're probably not one of them. I know I'm not, or at least I'm not taking the chance. And every single top bodybuilder that isn't one of those outliers is tracking their progression. They've got a logbook, they're tracking their recovery, everything. The top of the top are obsessed with data. And if you're not, you are missing out on gains. Or you are risking missing out on gains, which in this game, is it worth taking that risk? Fucking no, not a chance. Same thing goes with your training intensity, right? I am a big believer in fatigue mitigation and fatigue management. That is definitely a conversation to be had. In a growth phase, when you're in a surplus, I am also a believer of the case of, yes, rep in reserve has its place. 99% of the time, a lot of you, your 0 rep in reserve is probably closer to a 2 or a 3. That's not a shot, that's how it is. If you don't have someone training with you all the time, you don't have a spotter, it's near impossible. Like, good luck taking a hack squat to a 0 rep in reserve by yourself. But as I was saying before I started fucking yapping, I'm so bad at getting off topic. I would much rather train too hard, as long as recovery is in check, right? As long as I'm recovering, that's another conversation. If you're not recovering, you're not growing. But I would rather go too far than not far enough. If you are training with good execution, like meticulous execution, train with aggression, with smart biomechanics in mind, I'm fucking 10 times out of 10, I'd rather take it further than not go far enough. Even if it was just the mental aspect of me knowing that I could have done more. You need to be training hard. If you are going into, let's say, a leg day, for example, and you are not anxious or nervous to any slight degree about the movements on that day, I can guarantee you you're not training hard enough. You should be going into the gym on something like a leg day, for example, a push or a pull or something like that. Obviously, arm day, you're not going to be feeling the same. But if you are not a little bit anxious heading into the gym before legs, there's something wrong. There is absolutely something wrong. I can guarantee you're not trained to a level of what you should be or could be. Now, that brings the conversation of recovery. You are only going to grow as good as you can recover. Everyone, fucking me included, loves the idea of doing more. 9 times out of 10, more is not always better. You should be tracking your sleep, your heart rate, your motivation for the gym. And there's some dead giveaways, right? If they start dropping off, high chance you are doing too much. If you are in a situation like this, pull back, potential deload, reset the system. Take a look through your training volume, reduce some things here and there, go back, assess again. We want to be riding that line of doing basically maximal recoverable volume is like the term that you would use. But you want to be doing as much as you possibly can on that line that you can still recover from, but you are doing as much as you can. Stimulus, fatigue, recovery, adaptation. That's literally how it works. If you're missing that one important piece of recovery, you're missing the adaptation. And we do not want that. So we want to be training hard, super fucking hard, as hard as you possibly can. And you want to be recovering equally, if not harder than that. Training is literally stress on the body that forces an adaptation. That adaptation is growth. And stress is not good for gains. So you don't want to be going too far, especially with external stresses, right? You cannot out train or out fucking eat, poor sleep, chaotic lifestyle, high stress sort of environment. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter if you're striving to be a professional athlete, whatever, gaining as much muscle tissue as possible, making this growth phase, what this whole video is about, making the growth phase as efficient as possible and getting everything you can get out of it. Train hard, eat on time, and live like someone whose goals actually matter. This is where everyone goes wrong in the off season. In a prep or a fat loss phase, you've got shit's nailed down. When it matters, and when you're actually growing tissue, it's all good, I can go to sleep fucking an hour later. It's all good, I don't need my meal timing to be fucking perfect. You know, meal timing, probably not, but it is a factor, and you should have this shit on point year round. It shouldn't differ between phases. This is the main issue here with growth phases, is people throw every habit that they build in a fat loss phase, a prep, whatever, out the fucking window. It should be the exact same day to day, regardless of fat loss, regardless of a growth phase. As I said earlier, it's literally just more food, potentially more volume with training, and that is it. Alrighty, boys, we are locking in for meal number 4. I think I actually called the last meal number 4 because of leg day. It sort of confused me because I have different meals, different places. But meal 4, same as meal 3, which is the classic sweet potato, egg, pineapple, beetroot, tomato under there, chicken, 230 grams raw weight to be exact. I'm just sitting down to do some work. I'm actually going to start editing this video, got a couple of check-ins to do, and that's basically it, boys. Do I have anything else I want to talk about? Not right now, potentially later, but I will catch you for last meal. I need to fucking smack out some work, so. Alrighty, boys, final meal going down, meal 5. We have the GOAT. Cream of rice. We have blueberries, strawberries, coconut rice crackers, whey paste, rice flour, pistachio nut butter, and under there somewhere is some almonds. Absolute glorious medley here. Favorite, I don't know if it's favorite meal of the day. It's up there. To be honest, they're all fucking good. All tasks done, steps completed, work done, and it is now time to sit down and melt on the couch and watch a movie. This is the nighttime ritual, movie, TV show, something, relax, eat the final meal, watch a movie for the next hour and a half, 2 hours, and head straight to bed and start all over again. So this is a very integral part in my day, to be completely honest with you, is the movie and cream of rice meal. And it's also great for recovery and winding down and getting ready for sleep. So I shall see you in the next one.